Hi, this is Shona and I'm your hostess for this Insights video. I thank you for joining me, and today, I love this verse because it's a verse that we hear about a lot, and theologians might take have different insights on it than I'm going to share today. But these are insights that as I've walked my Christian life and lived the Christian life, these are insights that over the years I've gleaned from this particular verse, and I just want to share it with you. Plus, I'm really excited because I get to share this cute little craft project that I did with some friends, several months ago. And I'm just delighted that I could use it as a visual aid today. So anyway, let me go ahead and read the verse, and then we'll go from there. It comes out of Matthew 7, verse 6, and it says, "Don't give what is holy to dogs, or cast your pearls before swine." Yes, if you're a Christian, and maybe even if you're not a Christian, you've probably heard that phrase so many times. And sometimes we tend to look at it through the same lens. I used to look at it very much through the lens of it speaking more about the people who were considered dogs or the swine. And I used to be probably a little bit snotty about it, if you would. But then I came to the conclusion where I turned the lens towards me, and it was like, oh, I saw it more through the lens of what am I going to do? What is this? What do these verses say about me? So, first of all, here we go. Got to thinking, who are the swine? And back in these days, dogs and swine, it was a pretty derogatory uh, thing to be referred to as a dog or a swine. Sorry, hair on my nose. So it was a very derogatory term back then. And throughout this video, I'm not meaning it as derogatory as much as I mean it to identify a group of people who aren't necessarily bad. So here's my little pig. Okay, we can see back then, I bet even the people that wrote the Bible would have had to have admitted that this little pig is really, really cute. Okay, not derogatory. See, it's got like a little heart on its behind and a cute, little, and it's got like sparkly nostrils. I just love this little piggy. So anyway, oh, that's nice. I hope the sun stays behind that cloud. It makes the thing look a little bit better. Okay, so anyway, back to the swine. So who are the swine? It says, "Don't cast your pearls before swine." So who are these? Who are these people that we shouldn't cast our pearls before? Well, before I used to thought, oh, they're derelicts. Oh, they're people who don't believe in Jesus. Oh, they're people that just don't look like me. They're just they're maybe bad people. Well, then I got to thinking as I was doing my walk, a lot of people who might fit in this category, they can be friends, they can be close friends, they can be family members, they can be your next door neighbor. And like I said, I don't mean to call these people pigs or anything like that, but it's more a category of people. And I'll get into that a little bit more because I'm not sure if I'm getting my point across, but hopefully I am. So anyway, it can be me. Sometimes I can be the pig. Sometimes I can be the cute little pig. We just don't know. So we learn more from their actions and maybe from circumstances, at least for me, I might consider a swine that I might not cast my pearls before. So now that we've seen that the swine can be anybody, even it's someone that looks just like me, sometimes it can be me in some circumstances. Let's move on to the other thing I've learned more about me than I have the people considered dogs and swine in this verse. I think it speaks to the spiritual maturity of the one that's holding the pearls. Does that make sense? So bear with me just a minute. I think that being able to tell who and who not to cast our pearls before is a sign of spiritual maturity in me, the one who holds the pearls. So, for example, I need to be, if I can recognize who is ready to maybe catch the pearls and treasure the pearls, then I can share them with them. If I look at somebody, even though that might be a great person, maybe it's my neighbor, maybe it's my best friend, maybe if they're not ready to catch these precious pearls that I have, maybe I need to keep them to myself. So I think it's a sign of spiritual maturity when maybe we can recognize when people are open to something wonderful that we want to share with them, and maybe when they're not quite ready for it yet. Does that make sense? Well, to me, it makes a whole lot of sense. So that lets me know who to not waste my breath on, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just to save it. Maybe it's not to cram my ideas and my treasure down someone else's throat when they're not ready or they're not open. Maybe, well, okay, so that's it for that one. The next one, we need to understand about ourselves that we don't always hold the key of enlightenment for everybody else. We can't save the world. Sometimes we don't have the right personality to approach somebody. Maybe we don't have the right approach to somebody. Maybe someone that is closer in age. Maybe like if I need to tell something to my children and they're not open, rather than me cramming it down their throat, I need to realize that maybe there's someone else in their life, like maybe a grandparent, maybe a mentor at church, maybe a teacher at school. Maybe there's someone who better holds pearls and has a way to give it to them that it's going to be more accepting. So that person, although they might be considered like a swine in my desire to enlighten them, maybe they're just the right person for someone else. Does that make sense? I hope so, because it makes total sense to me. I mean, that was really like a revelation, a light bulb moment when I realized I don't have to try to save everybody. Sometimes there's someone who's got a better approach, a better way of stating it, more, um, just a better personality. God's going to use them as an instrument instead of me. I don't have to be everybody's instrument. And then lastly, and this was a big one for me too, is that it's important for us to realize that the people who might fall into the category of the cute little pig don't always have to be our enemies. I have friends, some of my dearest friends don't believe in God. But you know what? They're not my enemy. And when they ask me about Jesus, oh, I'm so ready to share with them. And I hope that I'm planting seeds. I don't get the Bible and I don't take them in the Bible and I don't beat them over the head with the Bible. And that's okay. I have friends that don't know what to think about Jesus. They're not interested in him, but they don't discount him. They just don't really give him much thought. They're not my enemy, although some of these spiritual pearls that I might have to toss to them, they might not accept them. They're not going to be as precious to them as they would be someone who's open and ready. Sometime the people that are considered swines in our lives could be a very dear family member. Maybe they're a father, maybe they're a mother, a sister, or a brother. You know, we just don't know. So I love this, and I love the insights when I was able, instead of to turn that lens of who the swine were and focus it on them and shine that spotlight on them and think, oh, they're just not as Christian as I am, or they're just not as serious about God as I am, or oh, they're a pagan. You know, it was insightful for me to not look at them that way, to take that spotlight and shine it on me, and more so for me to realize that I don't always have to be the one to cast the pearls. Maybe I just plant the seeds. Maybe I just show the love of Jesus. I don't have to throw the whole thing, but be ready when the time comes. I have to understand that I'm not going to save the whole world. Just because I do these videos, just because I am who I am, just because I'm a pretty decent Bible teacher, doesn't mean that I'm going to have to save everybody and that's my mission. I have to be Miss Bible Woman and save everybody. And it also doesn't mean that people who might fall into that category of the swine are my enemies, because they're not. They're people in my life that I absolutely love and adore. So I hope that insight has maybe given you a new way to look at it. And like I said, it's probably not very theological, but it's my experience. It's what I've learned just sitting at the seat of Jesus or the throne of God and just living and experiencing my own Christian walk. So anyway, thanks, and I hope to see you again on another Insight video.